Joining us now to discuss when Congress will fund the president's border wall, the government shutdown prospects, and the progress being made on the, let me see, how does that go? The repeal and replacement of Obamacare. Congressman Dave Brat, a member of the Freedom Caucus, who also serves on the House Budget Committee. Congressman, I know you've got a very busy day and evening ahead of you, and I appreciate you taking the time to be with us. The border wall. It looks clearly like the president is willing to withhold the border wall in an offering to the Democrats. What's wrong with that?
Well, what's wrong with it is that's the swamp that he ran against, and so he's been forced into a predicament. That's the way D.C. typically works. He's been forced into a bad position. I don't think the Democrats are being strategically smart. I don't think you want to upset President Trump, who's probably one of the masters of leverage. So we have all three branches of government, the $4 trillion budget that he has to work with, and all of the executive power and all the secretaries at his disposal. And so if the Democrats want to play small games, right, it always comes down, the press narrative is about this billion-dollar thing versus this billion-dollar thing and the shiny objects. That's not the big thing. And so I think they're going to irritate the president who ran and won on this key symbolic issue, and he's going to light it up once he learns the rules of the game in the swamp. And I think he'll come in pretty tough. Yeah,
that swamp does need draining right now. There's so many critters in it that you got to be real careful where you reach for any kind of spigot to start draining it.
That's right.
Right now, I don't see that a delay is a big deal. They're talking about funding it in the FY18 legislation. That would make perfect sense. I do take your point that it's not draining the swamp, and believe me, there's not a more enthusiastic swamp drainer than me. But at the same time, you've got a recalcitrant Speaker of the House who basically seems that he is suffering simultaneously from indifference and delusions of grandeur and is incapable of leading any effort in the House of Representatives. Congressman, I've got to ask you, what in the world are you people doing following this Speaker?
Well, and that's what we're talking about, right? So the typical rules that have applied for the past 8 years, Trump ran against all of that. And so we're waiting for his leadership.
Wait a minute, Congressman. I respect your mind, your capacity, and your knowledge. But I got to say to you, I'm asking you what you all are doing, because the president, I know what he's up against.
Right.
The conference should get rid of this guy. I mean, you can't follow him with confidence or trust. He doesn't have any idea what he's talking about. He's talking about a better way, which is a speaker's agenda, not a presidential agenda. And nobody got elected on that agenda but him. What are you people doing to the president? And you cannot put up with you can't put up with a fool forever, can you?
Well, I feel the total frustration. I try never to personalize it, but on
healthcare.
I just did. Yep. No, I know, and I'm with you.
I'll hear about it when I get home too. Believe me.
Right. Well, the leadership folks told us we have a hard time governing, and we're trying to make that happen. But we're trying to govern on the promises we made. We all ran on repeal of Obamacare. That has a common sense connotation. Yeah. And so we're trying to make moves there. On the budget, we're at loggerheads again.
You all control the House, the Senate,
and the
presidency. What is your problem? Your problem is a lack of leadership.
Yep. Well, we got 40 guys that are duking it out on the issues, and so we've got to lead as well. And so part of the way we lead is to get out and explain to the American people what's going on. And so the budget.
Let me tell you what's going on. You've got a speaker who, frankly, is out of touch with not only the American people, our system of government, the White House, the Senate, but his own conference in the House.
Yeah, well, we're having a tough week because we're dealing with all the big three you just said, and the American people want to see some massive change, and it's not forthcoming right now. So we're trying to get there, and we're waiting for Trump, for example, on the tax package. Let's see his leadership on that. Which way does he want to go?
Again, I'm going to raise my hand.
Yeah.
What if he's waiting on you all to do the responsible thing, which is to jettison a leader who is absolutely hell-bent on disaster for this president, for your conference, for your party, and for the country?
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Lou, but take, for example, the health care battle. So the president and the White House made a choice on how to go on that one. And so we kind of went down the path on the Better Way agenda, and so we're trying to make that bill as good as we can.
The president didn't make a judgment on the Better Way agenda. Your speaker did. Your speaker has put up the Better Way agenda. It looks like the most amazing moat that he could dig around the House of Representatives. You all have got to get rid of that thing, don't you?
We're hearing feedback that some in the Senate aren't happy with the agenda as well. But we're trying.
Are any of them happy?
Well,
I would love to hear one of them is going around talking about the Better Way agenda, Congressman.
Yep.
Nobody over there is.
Yeah, I know. We got 40 guys who are trying to do the right thing. We're making it better. But you saw the vote, right? And today it was reported that all of the moderate faction, all 50 from the Tuesday group, were going to be a no vote as well. That's the first time that's been reported out in the article on Tom MacArthur, who's trying to do a good job. We're trying to negotiate, and there are win-wins in economics, right? You can improve coverage and reduce prices simultaneously if you study a little economics and do good policy.
Well, I studied a little, but you know what I do know? If you can't agree on an agenda, who the President of the United States happened to be, what his agenda is, you can play games all day long with, game theory and zero sums, and you won't still get to a resolution.
Right. I'm with you. This is it. And the real pain that we feel, right, where this governing thing, this is a once-in-a-century opportunity on health care. We have the House, the Senate, and the President once in a century.
Congressman, we all know the stakes. We all know the opportunity. It's up to you all to seize it.
You're correct.
Dave Brat, I know you'll do your best to make that happen.
You got it, Lou. Thank you. You bet.
Thanks so much, Congressman.